Hey guys, as you know, I'm kind of quite stupid at recording a video, but somehow I've managed to record an entire video without any audio, so I'm going to be voicing over the recording that I got. So things are maybe by a 0.1 out of time, or maybe a little bit strange, then it's probably why. Just as a clarification. Now, just before this, I just want to say thank you for the support on my last video. I didn't expect to literally get any likes on it, or any views really. The fact that I haven't uploaded in so long, and this video is going to be based upon the facts that a lot of people are starting to do PvP right now because they're kind of going for the commander rank or something like that. Kind of really whatever, maybe even trying to go for Grand Marshal, and if you do that, congrats, that's pretty impressive. So I'm going to go over the first things first. You're going to want to get a lion heart helm for your helmet. Obviously, it's a pretty amazing helmet with critical strike chance and hit percent, and 22 strength, which is pretty nice actually. I'm using a pretty nice buff on this that you can get from ZG, I'm pretty sure, which is kind of fairly easy because all you got to do is get exalted. If this is not from ZG, it'll be from something else. I'm not 100% sure on what it was. All I know is that it's nothing too difficult to get, and you can actually get this in your 50s to 60s, which is pretty simple. The only problem and the downside of this is it can be fairly expensive to get this helmet plus the buff, which isn't too good in my opinion. So if you're kind of on a budget, I wouldn't really recommend going for this stuff. So as you can see here, I'm showing the buff now. This is a really decent buff in my opinion. It's kind of nice. It's got the shield block, which we're not going to be using, but the 7 stamina is pretty nice. So we're going over to neck now, which is 10 stamina, 10 plus stamina, and 30 attack power, which is pretty nice. It's going to be dealing like an extra 30 attack power and a bit of extra DPS, I'm pretty sure, which is actually quite nice in my opinion. If you're going Fury spec, obviously DPS is kind of something you really need to work towards. This is fairly easy to get, in my opinion. It's really nice, and for a neck piece, this kind of level that you're at is quite decent in my opinion. For this quality is actually pretty amazing. Now over to Spulsions of Valor, probably one of my favourite looking shoulder pads you can ever get. They are so nostalgic and so cool. But not only that, they have brilliant stats and they're made out of plate, which is going to allow you to have a lot of armor. I am using a buff on this 30 attack power, which I know you get from ZG. There we go, Zandalarian Signet of Might, which you get from Exalted with the Zandalarian Shrive, which isn't too hard. You can get it off boosts. Pretty much anything. That is 250 gold worth of boosts, which isn't too bad in my opinion. That's it's fairly simple to get that amount of gold. So yeah, and also these shoulder pads are the Leroy Jenkins shoulder pads. Now the Stone Skin Gargoyle cape, probably a fairly decent cape you can get at any level really, up to when you can get your PvP cape. I'm using a enchant for this one for armor plus 70 and the 43 armor anyway. That's pretty decent armor you're going to get off a cloak, and it's a lot better than the cloth things you get at level 1 that had 5 armor. So this is actually pretty decent, and it's got some nice stats: 14 stamina, strength and agility, all kind of decent levels. So this is, in my opinion, pretty nice. Now using Savage Gladiator Chain. Now this is really rare actually. It's not the drop chance as such, it's just the fact that trying to get the boss to drop this is impossible. It just is really hard. I'm using an enchant on this, which is all stats plus 4, which is something that is pretty costly actually, and you can get something called all stats plus 3 instead, which in my opinion is a whole bunch easier, because you're going to be saving 80 gold. The difference between it is not too much in my opinion, but if you're really trying to push your PvP skills, I 100% recommend going with plus 4. It's just going to work out longer in the long run. It's overall just pretty good. A lot of people have been grinding this since the beginning of Classic and still don't have it, so if you're not getting it off your first maybe 50 attempts, because after 50 attempts you've probably been trying it for like a couple of days now, you're not really getting anything out of it. Maybe just go with the Valor set, and the Valor stuff is, in my opinion, if you get the full set, actually kind of decent stats, and it's a pretty decent set, and also the colours aren't too bad on it. They look kind of nice, and they have the same kind of classic, nostalgic feel, and if you love classic, then go with it. It's definitely worth it. As I'm showing here, it's called Greater Stats, if anyone's interested in getting the enchant. It's kind of expensive though. So the Battleborn arm braces are really good, but not for their base stats. They don't have any base stats whatsoever actually. They just have hit and crit. So I recommend getting stamina plus 9 because as PvP you want as much stamina as possible. As you can see, it's adding 287 armor for wrists. In my opinion, that's pretty good actually. But the main thing here is the hit percent. You're gonna want as much hit percent as possible. And crit's kind of nice as well as a little added bonus, so you're going to want to go for about 6% hit, which is why a lot of these things do have hit percent on them, and the more hit is the more chance you're going to hit, kind of obviously. Death grips is pretty nice. They're actually really cool hand grips you can get for a long time, and they have a decent amount of armor, strength and agility. They're also immune to disarm, so if you get some pesky little rogues or warriors disarming you all the time, well, no need to worry, because as soon as you get these, your gameplay's changed. It's going to be so much easier. They're pretty nice because of the buff that I got on them, which is the agility. And they don't come with agility. Anything that's in green is something that I've added onto, except if it says equip right next to it, then it's not. But yeah, that's pretty much it for death grips. Hopefully I don't stick onto this too long. Let's skip forward until I go to the next one. Oh, never mind, no need to. This is the handcrafted Mastersmith girdle. Fortunately, I've actually cut out the screen on this one, so I can't tell you what the buffs are on this one because I actually don't know myself. I just know that they're decent. It's nothing special, but it's kind of got a really low drop chance from Goraluk, how we pronounce the name, and to be honest, it's kind of nice actually. It looks nice. It's not like some stupid colourful rainbow thing that just looks stupid in my opinion. It's just pretty nice and mellow. Now for the Cloudkeeper leg plates, they've got a little variety. I've actually cut it out of the screen again. It's just 20 for agility, stamina and strength, which is all the main kind of things you're going to need in PvP. But that's not really the main thing about it. It increases attack power by 100 for 30 seconds on use, which is pretty nice. I'm also using the buff again, which is the defense plus 7, stamina plus 10, and block value plus 15. So all that put together is actually quite nice, and the whole things are just pretty nice. But the only downside to this, and obviously there's going to be a downside to it because they're just too good to be true, they're rather expensive and they're about 300 gold. So if you're on a budget, obviously just go to the Valor sets. They're just extremely easy to get and they just look super nice, and they're not like some stupid hunter set like an offset or something like the tier 2 offsets. The Bloodmill boots are super nice in my opinion with the improved chance to hit. It's got a bunch of different kind of stats in them, all at a low end, but just all stats really, and that's kind of nice. Unfortunately they're made out of mail, so you're not getting as much armor, but it's still decent. So this is improved chance to hit by 1%, which is pretty nice. And, well, as I said, hit chance is really important, but my enchant is stamina plus 5, and this already has, I mean, this actually has no stamina on it already, so I 100% recommend going for this. If you are a Warsong Gulch fanatic like me, I 100% recommend getting speed increase, Pain Weaver Band, which is a pretty nice ring in my opinion, as the chance to critical strike by 1% with stamina and 60 attack power. Now all that's pretty nice, and this drops from General Drakisaf, which is the last spot in UBRS. If you're getting attuned for Blackwing Layer, you'll definitely pick this up, and maybe if you're even doing a rend boss a couple of times, maybe ask to come and do the General Drakisaf, which is kind of at the end, and if you've got a Hunter, it's super easy to skip a bunch of stuff just to farm this one as well. So this is a fairly easy thing to get, or what do you call them? Rings, that's what you call them. Overall this is pretty nice, as you can get it fairly easily. It's a nice drop rate. I've seen it drop maybe like 5 or 6 times now, and I've done UBRS probably like 15 times, maybe 20, I don't know now. I did it like a bunch of times in one night, and I saw it drop like pretty much every single time. So if you are trying to farm this, no worry, it's not going to be like your Savage Gladiator chain, you're going to get it pretty easily. Now Blackstone Ring is pretty nice as well. Improves chance to hit by 1% and 20 attack power plus 16 stamina is pretty similar to the Painweaver band, just a little bit better. The only problem to this is that it's really rare to get, as it drops from a boss in Maraudon called Princess Theridus, which is the last boss. So you're going to have to skip the whole dungeon, or you're going to have to not skip it, but you're going to have to go through the entire dungeon just to get this ring, which is kind of a pain, unless you get the Scepter of Maraudon, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, which drops from a quest. I'm not 100% correct on that, though, not quoting on that, thank you very much. But yeah, you're gonna find groups looking for that all the time. Now your two trinkets are the Hand of Justice and the Black Hand Bredith, if you pronounce it, I'm not too sure how you pronounce that, which are two fairly easy trinkets to get. I do kind of want the Hodge. It's a pretty nice trinket in my opinion, and it's got the 2% chance on melee hit to gain 1 extra attack plus 20 attack power, which is just super nice. And the Black Hands trinket has the 2% crit chance, which is pretty nice actually, as they're fairly easy to get. The only problem is with the Hand of Justice, otherwise known as Hodge, as the drop rate or the chance to get it is fairly hard, and also you have to do an entire massive dungeon. I'm pretty sure it's like 17 or maybe even 21 bosses you have to go through just to get it, which is a massive pain. Now moving on to the super juicy stuff known as swords, which are the most important part. The most important part. I have had 2 hours of sleep and I'm still awake. Oh my god. So this is Iron Foe, and if you've never heard of Iron Foe, then where have you been? This is an insanely hard mace to get, but if you're as a human, I 100% recommend this, as the damage is insane. The speed isn't too bad for a mace, and it's just really nice because it grants 2 extra attacks on your next swing, which with Hodge as well, if they both drop, like damn, this is going to be insane. Make sure you come in with like 150 gold, because you're going to have to bargain someone to get this, because people are looking for it. Any chance they will try to get it. Blackguard is something, it's BOE, goes for about 60 gold on auction house, not too hard to get. I'm looking at buying it right now actually, it's pretty nice. I do have World of Warcraft open, just looking on the auction house, thinking about buying it. Obviously I've got Crusader on both of these, probably the best enchant, goes for 25% chance to proc. With 2 of them, that's 50% chance, so every 2 hits you'll probably be procking this, which is pretty nice, not too bad at all if you ask me, so 100% recommend going with these. Plus they just kind of they look nice, they don't look bad. Now Satira's bow is a pretty nice bow with not really the stats or the damage on this. It is the hit percent you will get off this. With a pretty expensive scope, in my opinion, it's not cheap at all, unfortunately. On my server, it was going, last time I checked, actually, I haven't looked in ages, but it's going for, I can't remember fully, but I know it's over 150 gold. The last time I looked, I don't know if that was random, but it is about that. So this means it will have a 4% chance to hit, which is just insane. It's actually just insane. So putting these both together is pretty nice, and if you can get engineering and actually just get this, then you're going to save so much gold and time, you're going to make so much of it. Now this entire set is probably one of the best sets I've seen, giving you about 4,149 HP, which is pretty nice if you ask me, seeing as pretty much all the other PvP starting sets are about 3,500 plus. Which is pretty decent in my opinion, but this is the best one that I've seen. So the armor is going to be 3,935, with defense 314, miss, dodge, parry, all that stuff doesn't really matter as much. I'm just kind of going over it here, just in case people kind of care a little bit. You've got nothing in block, seeing as you don't have a shield or anything like that, there's no point. Strength, agility, things like that, I'm kind of going over it, but unfortunately I can't see it because I cut the video part. Spirit and intellect don't matter. So the attack rating, so as you can see there, if you just want to pause the video in these parts, maybe have a little look. I'm kind of just voicing over the video if you remember. So yeah, I'm gonna show you everything here. So this is the attack power, which increases damage with melee weapons by 53.3 damage per second, which is pretty nice. And this damage isn't actually the real numbers you'll be hitting. You'll be dealing more like 500 damage per hit, which in my opinion is super nice, especially because this is only a start PvP set, and once you really start doing PvP and getting your better stuff, you're going to be dealing so much damage. Melee crit is 21% and melee hit is 6%. This is not including bow effects or anything like that, so it won't really count it there, but it'll count it, don't worry. Now, I hope this helps some of you new PvP people that are coming to the game, and I hope that you're going to enjoy this. Now, for people that are interested in talents, you can stay, or you may just skip to the end of the video and have a little look around. As a little shout, if you want to look in the top right corner here, there is a shout out to my new video, or my last video, about your PvP sets. I'm going over the talents here if you want to have a look at them. I'm not going to read them all because I did go over these fairly fast. You can slow down the video if you want, but I will be talking over this part. My last video was about the PvP sets and what you can get at each PvP rank. So if you guys are interested in what you'll be getting at each PvP rank and maybe if it's even worth it, then I would definitely recommend looking at that or looking into that video a little bit because it will definitely help you out a lot. So here I'm going over if you want to go two-hand spec with we'll maybe using a macro to switch between two one-handed or going over to a two-handed straight in between. So you can go from a two-hand, cast hamstring, get a damage like bonus on them or something, and then switch round. It's kind of a really unknown tactic, but actually can work, and it's pretty nice if you can pull it off. So there I choose overpower to go for a fury kind of spec, which is a lot better in PvP in my opinion. I did try to use a two-handed weapon, but I don't know, I don't think it really works as well as two one-handed weapons. So there we go, that's your full talent tree. If you want to go back over that, you can. I highly recommend this tree. It's actually probably one of my favourite PvP trees I've ever actually tried, and it's a little bit different to some other trees because a lot of them are more like arms and proc, almost nothing into fury, but I definitely recommend this. It's super amazing in my opinion. It works really well. You don't need anything in parry or the shield block or just defense skill. You don't need anything like that. It doesn't matter. It's kind of nice to get that stuff, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and I hope you guys, well, I hope this helps some of you people out. And let's cue the end in a minute. I just want to give a little shout out to the Pro Gamer, shout out to Run L, shout out to Justin Arnold, otherwise known as the Tech Train. There's some people that help me out with YouTube, and yeah, it's time to cue the end. Goodbye.